Good morning.
Hey, Kurt, they can hit subscribe and like and the notification bell right now without even talking to you. Wait, and then they're going to start commenting because that was funny.
You,
Now
you
we can
know,
show our coffee cups.
mine's clean, relatively clean.
Same as yesterday, a little bit dirtier, I'm sure.
So good morning. We've had a little chit chat beforehand.
Today is the 9th of June.
It is 9th of June, 2024. This is supposed to be a working session. We've actually had a couple of interesting conversations in the past 15 minutes
Yes.
already. One of which I think we had recorded because I should record everything, everybody, every
All
time I
the
talk to anybody in the organization, I should record everything because there's always something that's a gem in there, right?
sounds right.
Um, just as a one weird thing, I definitely see a awareness of the severity of the male-female problem. And even Scott Adams this morning said something like, well, it's the reason these people make sense is they're men. I'm like, whoa,
Oh my.
Jesus God, uh, say the quiet part out loud.
Yep.
All right, so this morning we've decided we're gonna work on dendritic computation.
Hmm.
We discussed a couple of choices, and we're gonna try to figure it because, as I said to you beforehand, I feel I did a really good job of taking the sensory touch and the physical, and the visual, sensory touch, physical touch and visual, and explaining how those things turn into stimuli, which then we can identify, and how those fragments assemble.
Right.
But and I wanted to do that because, of course, I want to get over a lot of false ideas that are sitting out there in the collective conscious. Um, and and I was afraid that in doing that, I was replacing the falsehood that there's a picture in your mind that you're comparing things to,
Yes.
uh, that we are just identifying things, right, so to speak, instead of that there's this continuous stream of need to identify what, especially changes.
Yes.
Basically you're identifying what changes in moments, and you're summarizing sort of time and space, I guess is the way to put it. You're compressing time and space into things that are meaningful and actionable to you. And so the problem I was getting is we're doing a really good job of saying, here's the outside world. It's the negativa, right? Here's the inside world, right? Which is the positiva. And that's your homeostasis. And there's this brain process working around all the time that's trying to harmonize the two by maintaining the body in homeostasis in the context of the external world, right? So you have the universal ternary logical relationship that we always find in everything. And so you're thinking,
Well, it's a funny thing because it's a positiva, a negativa, and a decider.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
cooperation is a decider. Assembly is a decider. I mean, there's
Yes.
this all decision does, all that changes this decision is the time space energy in the decision, right? I mean, that's all that changes. I mean, everything gets bigger and more complex. All it's doing is saying, I have more energy, more time, more energy, that's contributory through a coherence between our demands and the state of the world around us, and our demand actions, and our actions in the state of the world around us. That's all we're doing, and it's one of those goddamn things where it's just humiliating. And
I knew you were going to say that part. I was waiting for it. I wasn't sure. I was thinking you were going to come out and say something about bots, but okay.
Now we're all bots. All right.
I am
So,
not a bot, sir.
well, no, you are
I
not.
certainly am not a bot.
No, we're just truth bots, which makes us a different kind of bot, which is sort of like an anti-bot bot, and I don't know what to do.
Oh my, but I was thinking about this when you were discussing this pattern thing with what the neurons do, right?
Yep.
At every scale, the neuron is continuously deciding. It's picking up signals from outside. The neuron is picking up a vast array of signals and then deciding if that one is worth, that dot pattern is worth sending a signal out about.
Mm.
Like I saw something, boom,
Yep.
right? I saw something from a different dot pattern, boom, right? And then some other neuron set is picking up those signals and then deciding what to do about it.
Yeah, it's that, I think it's that we tend to say, we tend to think of it as the neuron is like a whole person, the equivalent, right? But really what it is it's more of a social phenomenon, like an economy, which is that if I identify this and you identify this, right? And you think I don't have two different cups here. And
Right.
I think that it's this coffee cup, and you think it's the skinnier one that's taller
Yes.
cup, then the other guy's vote casts it your direction or mine.
Yeah, I agree or don't agree.
Right. And it's the agreement on what you're identifying that brings together the vote.
That's right.
Right. And so I haven't had, I'm afraid to interview the guy because when you interview him, he's worse than me. I mean, if you think I go up, I mean, that's why I'm scared. I'm like, well, I'm bad enough on my own.
Kurt says, I'm afraid he will try my patience.
No, I mean, I'm like, I don't know if we'll get anywhere.
I gotta say something on this subject because I was thinking of Uncle Kenny today when I'm dealing with my patients. Because it's like this, it's like no matter what provocation they bring forth, I am going to ignore it if it's not substantially interested in solving the problem that I have to deal with them.
Yes.
So it's like thank you, Uncle Kenny. Do leave a comment if you're still paying attention, and that's okay either way, because it's helpful. Because I ignore it because I got tickled enough. It's like, oh, I just want to say something because you're annoying me. And it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That is not what we're here for, to satisfy those nerves.
If I was a patient, let me do this example. If I was your patient, I said, I'm probably annoying you, but this is I'm really concerned about this, so I'm probably talking too much. Would that change how you felt at the moment or not?
No, I would probably agree with you and let you finish.
Yes, but
because then I will satisfy your interest in expressing your opinion or whatever it is. But I will go, I've already decided, or I'm still deciding, or whatever is going on in my head and processing it, and I'm using that part to solve the equation, and
yes.
that's all.
So it's not.
There's an impulse, however, this is the repressed impulse, which is for me to respond in some fashion that is off track.
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm like, no, I'm suppressing those actively in the context of neurons. I'm not going to fire.
Yes.
That's all, and it's exactly what we're talking about right now.
Okay. I was asking. There was another layer to what I was asking. In addition,
I'm so sorry.
which is that would it remove your frustration? In other words, when you have to suppress things, does the other does recognition by the other person that they're annoying you alter your frustration with it?
I would say that it's rare enough for me not to be able to give a comment. I let them be ignorant in their irritation. It's okay.
I had a study the other day, and I did the same. I can't help myself. I'm making the diagnostic nurse, right? I'm making her roll, right, with lab.
Right.
And so we just hung out for a few minutes afterward. Didn't need to. Just talking about life and stuff and whatever. And so I did my, of course I do, everything's an experiment, right? I mean, it's just so so I asked her, so I said, well, for me, I view it as uh, always make the life of your service people easier if you can,
That's right.
right? Because the truth is you will get better service, but it's also a contribution to the commons,
That's
right?
right.
And so she said, well, the truth is I really like what I do.
That's great.
I really like meeting all these people and doing these things. And I don't like the ICU, because everybody's really sad and whatever. But
That's rough.
she says I spend too much time in the ICU. But this woman's a little older than I am, and she's been, she's like, well, the doctors trust me. Of course they do. I mean, you've been doing this forever, and if you say, I think we need to do this, he's going to listen to you because you've been doing this forever, right? It's not like, and so. And so I'm like, okay, and some you do meet people in healthcare and they don't belong there because
Yes,
they actually don't enjoy
that's right.
the interaction with people. And those are the bitchy nurses. I don't like bitchy nurses. I get it because customer service of patients is a fucking nightmare. But
That's right.
I think we should teach more people how to take care of service people rather
That's
than just teach service people how to
That's right.
take care of consumers.
That's right.
Anyway, all right. So on to our matter today,
On
dendritic
to works.
computation, right? What we are trying to solve is
Dendritic computation.
dendritic computation, which is down here somewhere.
Kurt's getting ready to share, everybody.
I am. Okay, so there's a couple of things going on which we're going to revisit because I don't want to make the mistake we've made in the past, is that we've been away from a subject long enough to write it over again.
That will be an unwise. We agree.
All right. So to go into this section here.
You're not sharing.
I'm not sharing. I love it.
There's a reason I said what I said.
Yeah. Why do I love the abuse? I don't know.
I know. It's because I treat you like a bot. He just needs better programming. All right. Look at that. Dendritic computation.
All right. Go ahead.
Where are we going to go?
We have, I want to see if while I'm looking, I thought I might make the choice here. I think it's right in here. We basically need to cover these two sections.
Okay.
Right. I don't think this one is hard, but I've been working on this one this morning for a little bit. So I'd like it if we need a story to protect you. Well, it's fucking obvious, this social model. All right. So I want to read through this section.
Yes.
I think it needs to be, we need to go through this because I need to mount it so we don't write it all over again. And what we do write is coherent.
Right.
Right. And I think that's all we have to go through. And this is the story part. We've got some completing to do with the work of neurons. All right, so let's get this to be concrete. Why are you wobbling? Oh, you're across. There we go. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Right.
Okay. We're not going to do that one. This is fucking Christ.
I was wondering if you were going to comment on that. Number 7.
Let's do it this way. This is going to frustrate me. Okay, how do neurons compute with dendrites? Dendrites do the computing in variety and precision by combining the effect of timing, temporal summation, and location, spatial summation, and recognition of signals from the cell body by backpropagation. Dendrites can identify these temporal and spatial patterns in an infinite set of combinations, together producing complex computations, enabling one neuron to integrate information from various excitatory and inhibitory inputs at the level of complexity is irreducible and unanalyzable and unintrospectable in its complexity.
Yes.
So unlike serial computation, we are familiar with as we ourselves so unlike serial comp we're familiar with. That doesn't make sense. Familiar with you. I think I probably did a sentence truncation there.
That shouldn't be a period. Thank you. I would say that ending in neurons can sum.
Yeah.
Neurons summarize information and respond. Okay. That's right.
Where that?
Okay.
All right, so this is where I obviously don't like this because I highlighted. So we have a large number of distributed dots. Input would send plus and minus signals to the cell body, which then reaches some threshold and fires, releasing a charge both down the axon and back to the dendrites, transmitting information forward and backward. If we were to look top down at a set of dendrites and the activation of synapses, we might not see a pattern given the complexity of given the complexity of their stimulations, but we can see the firing in groups of neurons and detect those patterns as meaningful. See what I'm doing right? This is something about.
Oh my.
That's just a note for me to that's what I missed putting in there.
Right.
We were looking at top-down and suggested evidence that we might not see a pattern given the complexity of the stimulations, but we can see the firing groups of neurons and detect those patterns as meaningful. This process, I don't know if we can do that. Detect those patterns. I don't know if we can attribute meaning to them.
Right. That's
Go ahead.
they produce a digital output, right? That is, it's interesting because it turns into frequency modulation, right?
Mm-hmm. How do we add that?
I don't know. The neuron can only produce a digital output.
Mm-hmm.
Represents it in an analog in the form of frequency modulation. Because that's what the dendrites do. They modulate the frequency.
You're saying neurons
Neurons.
modulate
Neurons.
or
The
dendrites.
inputs of the dendrites modulate the inputs modulate the frequency. Target neuron.
And they can fire fast though.
Yes, they can.
I know the answer. I'm just not going to go look it up.
That was fast.
I know it's not helping me. You wouldn't think they could fire that fast.
Fast.
This is more likely what I would expect during high activity. I know about that. Yeah, it's not helping me. Doesn't it's so when you say modulate, what do you mean? Because I think it sums it, but that sum is yeah,
It is a summary of temporal and spatial relations,
right,
and its output is a frequency.
right.
So that it's not so much a digital output as a frequency output. The signal is a frequency.
Thank you.
So it's a FM radio set. And the frequency is determined by the dendritic function, which is continuously recursively disambiguated by operation.
Well, we know frequency conveys, there's two kinds of information, I fired and the speed at which I fire, right? Because the speed determines the rapidity with which a charge is built up down the line.
Right.
Right, so it's if I fire and the rate at which I fire, or it's I don't fire, right? I fire and the rate at which I
Oh,
fire.
you're a neuron, okay? You
Right, but
you will
but I-
fire, or you will die.
No, you don't have to fire in response to everything.
No,
There's-
you fire or don't fire, but there's a frequency, that's all that matters.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is the frequency you fire over time matters just as
Yes.
much as the frequency you fire in time.
You
matters.
firing it right now doesn't matter so much, but the frequency by which you fire does matter. Because that read that we just did from the GPT told me this, that it's say dot patterns, right? But it's not. I see that dot pattern. It's like that dot pattern caused me to fire over time at such a frequency, which is it's time and pattern. You know what I mean? It's not, doesn't matter. Once doesn't matter.
So there's three: spatial, temporal, and frequency. It's spatial,
Because you look at the dendritic
temporal,
input,
spatial, and frequency. Okay.
the dendrite is looking, and the dendrite sees a pattern, but the pattern may be reinforced by another pattern that hits it real fast, which causes it to fire, when neither one could make it fire by itself.
Okay, I got it. That's what I was looking for. Yep, that's what it is. I'll be damned. Okay. We'll handle that up there. No, see. Yeah, this might have to be down here. We got, that's the whole paragraph. That's a couple of paragraphs right there.
Yes. So the neuron is using it's modifying its dendrites as it fires. It's a frequency generating device.
I think that's really important. So you're saying like my view of computate, what I was worried about is we had to talk about, it takes a village. It not only does that, but it takes the frequency of the village. And so that's.
So think about it like you're gonna go into town, okay? And it's like, my hair's kind of long. The barber excites me, so I'm going in.
My barber's a little old lady.
She excites you enough to get her in there, to get you. Right? And that's okay. It's okay. Wait, but wait, you need some coffee. The coffee shop excites you right now. Or there's a mob coming up the street with pitchforks and torches, so you're gonna go away, right? The village is doing all kinds of different things all the time. And you're going in to go buy some beef because you want to have a big party at your house tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on what it is that you're paying attention to that makes a difference. But it's like the frequency of the village will tell you how to behave when you're there, because when the pitchforks and the torches are out, you're walking away, or you're joining in, or you're running away. But you're responsive to the entire village and what you're attempting to accomplish in that function.
All right, let's try the orchestra analogy. I feel like I have this up, and I feel like we have mounted this this problem right at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So to help the average person understand how dendritic computation summarize or generalize information from many inputs into a single output, you can use analogies and narratives that relate to everyday experience. Yeah. Imagine an orchestra conductor who stands in front of a large group of musicians playing different instruments. Musicians represent a synaptic inputs on dendrites. Each musician's sound, whether loud or soft, high or low, is like excitatory or inhibitory signals. Right? So there's lots of different things. The conductor listens to all the different instruments and their sounds. I don't know if this makes any sense.
Oh, that's very good.
That's good.
No, that's a very good understanding of it. I like this.
Yes. The conductor doesn't focus on each individual sound, but the overall harmony and rhythm of the orchestra. The dendrites generalize the input, summarize and combine effective signals in a single graded potential decision. So basically,
that will be the conductor represents the neuron.
Yes.
And interacts with all the players by modulating their functionality for the output of the orchestra as a whole.
Yeah. So what you're saying is he's trying to produce, what do you call it? The melody.
He's producing the coherent output of the orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Correct.
That's using our terminology.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the correct. Coherent. Oh. You're prescient.
Yes, sir. Thank you for noticing.
I like it. No, coherence is the answer. Yes. Okay, good.
So in this analogy, I think that it's a little bit off, because each individual player in the orchestra represents a neuron trying to input to the through the dendrite, which is the ear of the conductor. So it misplaces the agency. The ear of the conductor is the agent, which is the determining factor on the signal that he sends back down through the dendrite towards the player.
Yeah, I'm trying to get so the thing is, you're trying to create, so coherent is good. Because you you either have dissonance or you have melody. Really, so you're trying to produce a melody. And so you're trying to coordinate a lot of inputs into an output, which is a frequency. I think if we use that model, that's.
So the conductor uses his hands to change the volumes of each player and to control the tempo of the operation of the orchestra. So the output of the conductor to the hands is orchestrating the dendritic function that he's receiving, which is the signal coming out of the orchestra.
Let's switch from conductor to audience.
Ah,
That's the
so make the
That's the
conductor the dendrite.
Yep. No, the conductor, there just doesn't need to be a conductor. All you need is an audience. The audience either can comprehend, can detect a melody, or they can't, or they're.
Yeah, but see, the conductor is the agent responsible for modulating the signal coming out of this orchestra.
I don't see that. He doesn't have anything. All he does is listen.
No, because he's feeding back to the orchestra that you're not loud enough and you're too loud.
But it doesn't.
And here's the tempo of the operation.
It doesn't do that. It only says, I understand, this makes sense to me or not.
Yeah, but he's modulating their behavior.
No, only over time. It's the coherence that modulates their behavior over time, not in time.
Yeah, but they need the conductor for that coherence.
They need someone to listen.
No, they need the guy who's telling them what they need to do to make it coherent.
I don't see that. Oh,
Kurt,
I
I
see.
played in the band.
Wait, I got you. So you're saying once the neuron I'm looking for what makes the neuron fire, and you're saying once the neuron fires, he says you've been coherent.
You're coherent. I don't talk to you means you're doing a great job.
So it's.
But otherwise, I'm telling you to lift up your volume or to back off a little bit because you're overwhelming the rest of the orchestra.
Right.
Which is the feedback loop. Is I'm hearing what you're doing and telling you what you need to do to make it coherent as a group.
So yeah, okay. I was taking, I understand. I was trying to separate the two functions. Okay. Any more coffee? I'm gonna pause.
It's good.
I'm gonna pause. I didn't make it big enough to find the pause button, Brad.
Uh-oh.
You have to make it bigger. I tell that to women, you have to make it bigger first. I didn't get any response from you from that one.
I don't know how to interact with that signal, man. Like, okay, just quiet, maybe it'll stop.
What?
It'll
All I have
suffer.
we study baiting into hazard, and I try to bait you into hazard, and it doesn't fly ever. Maybe that's why I get so much joy out of it. I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, we're back with fresh cups of coffee.
Yes, we are.
Brad,
My coffee is awfully fresh.
you're fresh this morning. You tried to get me to blow coffee out my nose.
Just a little bit close to us. No, I just wanted to nearly snarf you and scare you about snarfing.
That was totally unfair. I spent the next 15 minutes cleaning up my keyboard and the whole place.
Oh my.
All right. not like I'm not easily distracted, and you go off and send me that direction. Now I got to get back on track.
Sorry, Kurt.
All right, so
Full responsibility.
so what I like about this is it's another example of the utility of auditory introspection versus,
Hmm.
and so
Right.
I think
You're
I
not
just
sharing.
want, what?
You're not sharing.
Oh, I'm not ready to share yet.
Oh, sorry, Kurt.
You want me to show you mine? Is that what you're saying?
I did not say that.
How come you never say anything like that when it's recording? You're really.
I don't know what you're referring to, sir.
Oh, fuck. And I'm willing to go public with my foolishness.
Your foolishness is just outrageous. It's impressive.
Counters the. Ever since I've started doing videos, people don't call me a bot as much, an AI or a bot as much anymore.
Not as much. It's a diminished frequency. All right. That was impressive that AI came up with that analog.
It's just,
It's impressive.
it's all you gotta do is ask, it's how you ask the question.
Hmm.
You have to sort of have an inkling
Yes.
of what answer you want.
Hmm.
So it's like I could ask you to make a pretty large logical leap and you would do that, right? You can't. So you have to, it's like you have to give it stepping stones. But it does work. I mean, it does work in that. So okay, so we want to, there's a couple of stories we want to tell here. Yeah, well, it's already, we already have it labeled in the right place.
Well, you're not sharing still.
Oh. Don't.
Stop it. Stop it.
Having trouble focusing already.
Oh, boy. Okay, now I'm on track.
Okay, so this what just happened?
Hmm.
Oh,
Go back to number 7. Hit the search.
okay. It's got to have a cursor somewhere. Oh, it's lost the cursor, that's why. Do I have to go off and then back again? Is that why? Doesn't want to give me a cursor. Usually I have to.
Hit a space and see what happens.
It's going over there, it's sending the space to another window. So why? Oh, is this why? That's
Yes.
why. Okay. Fuck. It's sending the space over to. I just refresh you. So if I come here, I go here, and I go there, and I go there. There we go. Okay. Got my cursor back.
All right.
Damn windows and it's
Hmm.
not like it's not like I don't have 13 desktops running.
Not you.
It's not like I have 13 desktops running. All right. It's here. That's a Brad. So we have it down into here. We need a story of dendritic computation. Don't. Well, it's pretty obvious that a social model would be a consequence of the neural model. Do for Christ's sake, don't be an idiot. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I think we can use both. We can use the orchestral or coffee shop.
Yeah. What I like about the orchestra one better because it's like, the orchestral one has feedback to the speaker, to the people who are making the signal.
Mm-hmm.
The coffee shop does not.
No, if I'm talking to somebody in a coffee shop, it does. What I like about the music one is it's easier to understand frequency.
Okay.
Or CHE, what looks.
Yeah, that's correct. Or,
It's missing.
yeah.
So we go over both of these models.
I like the coffee shop model.
And then both the social model and auditory will be compatible. We already figured this out before.
Yes.
All right.
I like that.
So.
The coffee shop model is like you're demonstrating the power of the dendrite, the nervous system, right? The orchestra defines the power of the dendrites to do the calculation necessary for the listener in the coffee shop to perform as a listener. And the social model is the generalization of that to society. Which is presaging the behavioral of groups of humans. Like this orchestral model because it will the conductor is the decider for the orchestra. Okay. And it's like he makes decisions about who's to raise their volume, to slow down, to speed up, to govern the system, right? And we can use that model later as we move to government.
I like all three of them.
Well, I agree.
Those are three good models. I've almost got it. Give me another minute.
Oh, yeah.
tempo.
He controls the tempo, the tempo.
Interesting what women react to. I swear to God, if I could, I think I might have just shut it off because I didn't give it time. Yeah.
Say it again.
Uh, 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 give me a second. In social media, it's interesting what women respond to.
Okay.
There's the shrill bitches who they're all fucking psycho and you ignore them. And they're all educated women. All educated women, they feel really, they need to assert their dominance on something they have little understanding of. Then you have women who are normal and they're actually interested. And then you have women who are, and they'll agree or disagree, or they'll like it or not. You have mature women and they'll just say, huh, that's interesting, or they'll ignore you. But the most comments from women are not from women, they're from bots that are just, from ads for some OnlyFans or sex.
Yeah. Yeah. Sex bots.
Drives me fucking nuts. And I was like, okay, so I don't want you to be able to comment. I would like a filter. I don't want you to be able to comment if you haven't been on the site for at least 6 months, right? And I would like to say if you're female and you haven't been on this, I would like that filter, because you get all these things and it's like, you can tell, right? You can tell from if they just like it, right? That's one thing. If they repost it, like this girl reposted, it's legit, right? But there a lot, all these, it's like, I bet it would cut down on 20% of my notifications because they're all about some sex thing, which I have no interest in.
Right.
And I'm really disappointed in men that there's enough men out there that can feed that.
So it's disappointing.
It's disappointing. It's really disappointing how many women have OnlyFans accounts.
I would point this, producing different sounds is different frequencies. Okay. They also have individual volumes, which will upplay the dendritic function, because if I don't hear enough oboe, I'm looking for more oboe, and I encourage the oboes to increase their volume or the amplitude of their output, right?
So Brad says more cowbell.
Or, yeah, buddy.
You know that one?
I
You
like
know
that a lot. That made me happy. I want to be the more cowbell guy. Shit, we should have a cut for that very scene. That is just a great little sketch. I'm gonna have to write that down because I'm gonna watch that after we're done because that's so damn good. More cowbell. That's right, brother.
Yeah, I don't know if I did. Different, a sound.
Because look, the player is a neuron trying to talk to the orchestra leader, the director.
So an orchestra with many people playing different and producing different sounds. The conductor controls the tempo. Just much better at grammar checking than I am. Okay, so here's I don't. So what I'm trying to get with sounds is inputs.
Input frequencies.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm trying to get now inputs at different frequencies,
Right.
right?
Okay.
See, I think that causes a cognitive.
Okay.
I think that causes a confusion.
Yeah, but the neuron does regulate. Okay,
with many people.
I understand what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you. Because the analog is working in a different fashion than I'm envisioning it by that function that you just inputted, okay? Which is that the players are acting as another neuron talking to the conductor. All the neurons are talking to the conductor, and the feedback between the two is the dendritic function that we're talking about, which is the oboe player senses because the conductor inhibits or encourages volume changes.
God damn it, doing it to me again.
Yes. You have to close the search function.
What do you call players?
The people are input neurons.
No, I'm trying to talk about dendrites.
I know.
I'm not talking about neurons. I'm talking about dendrites.
No, I understand that, but the input neurons are significant.
No, I understand that, right? But so let's take I hate taking analogy to the point where we're driving the analogy, not the meaning. So in this case, I'm trying to get across the. If you want to go out to the input neurons, in other words, the axons that are coming, axons.
That's right. The axons are touching the dendrites.
Right, but that's all that is that's the sheet of music that's the sheet of music that the oboes are listening to, are following, right? So they're playing one theme, right? And these dendrites are playing another theme, and these dendrites are playing another theme, and these dendrites are playing another theme. And it's the harmonization of those themes that's coming together. If you want me to make that point additionally, I can make that point additionally. But what I'm trying to do is say, how does how do we produce coherence, which is melody in this case, Um, uh, how do we produce melody out of these different inputs? And I like this because melody is over time, not in other words,
Yes, it's not
past
momentary.
we're getting past this problem of identifying, this, right, which we do with cup.
Yes,
Because when I do this, right, as a lot of in parallel,
yes,
right, and then the competition in parallel of touch, or the competition in parallel of this, that identity is really simple compared to the coordination of a body over time.
yes,
Right, and so what we're trying to actually do is remember that you're trying to maintain bodily coherence at all times, right?
right.
So you can act, including the bodily coherence necessary to continue to identify this stimulation. What I like about this model, the auditory model in general, is it's introspectable. Like you can think about the parts of it in a way you cannot think about
Right,
this, and it's
right.
really, you can't even introspect. I mean, if I want to look at, my utility knife here, I bought new blades. It's actually sharp for once. If I want to look to, shouldn't have, that's just an identity, right? But when I talk about a melody, that's an associative process over time.
Yes.
And so I really like this model, and I think the fucking more cowbell. I think I just saw it again. Sorry. I like the combination of the orchestral model, anything to do with music, the coffee shop model, which is filtering out, right? I mean,
Yes, it's
that's
a
what
via negativa.
that's a negativa. And the social model is that you're having to do things, you're taking these different things that are produced like by an orchestra and putting them into a voting model, right? So I like these three models.
Yes,
They serve the real the purpose that we want to get across. So now I got to come back. Do you want me to add that that all these inputs are putting, because I can do that, right?
no, I can go with that. I can go with this.
Well, no,
That,
I mean, I'm not sure it's wrong to bring in the input neurons, because that gets away from this neuron is doing all itself again. So I think
yes,
that might be a good thing to do,
okay.
right?
So I see in that analog, then the musician is an input neuron, right? Reading the sheet of music, which is what's actually happening, what is occurring, and translating it into frequency and volume, right?
Yes,
Amplitude, and then being modulated by the conductor through interactions through the dendrite, which is the interaction between the receiving neuron, which is the conductor, and the input neurons that are attached to it.
okay,
To read the score and come out with a coherent melody.
right. So the score is really great because it's
The score is what's really happening.
right. The score is what's really happening. So I like that. I like that. I like that bigger picture, which ties it all together, and it's easier to understand. Okay, so I think we should bring it in, is what I was, and you're agreeing.
I agree with you.
This is not right. I gotta be clearer than that. No, it's gotta be this. Isn't volume just frequency?
Say that again?
Volume is frequency.
No. Because at the dendrite, it's like this. If I need more oboe or more cowbell, I will create more synapses to receive that signal, which increases its amplitude.
Oh, it's more more synapses.
Yes. And I would put it parenthetically after the conductor, 2 lines up,
Go ahead.
the conductor parenthetically, who knows the score, the common score.
I don't think he knows it. The neuron knows anything. This be otherwise, but it doesn't know anything. That's the beauty of
That's
it.
correct.
So what he's looking for harmony. The director, the conductor.
Yeah, but so the conductor knows that he did a good job when the audience responds.
That's right.
And you might put that in there because that's
I'm looking
that's
for it.
feedback, the final feedback. Downstream neurons.
Of the word I was looking for. Like, why can't I think of this word?
It's what I'm here for, Kurt. I live to serve, I say.
Think I could spell neurons.
I think you could. I don't think you needed that help, but
You think what?
I didn't think you needed that help.
Okay. Try this one. Try. Okay, what was this? Okay, what about this? about this revision. And please look for holes in it.
Amazing you can do that.
You know, I know what it's, you know, like I can envision in my mind what it's doing,
Yes.
right? And so it's not hard. The thing is, if you go and look at all the prompts they tell you to generate, I'm like, all that does is mean it so that you generate a big prompt here for an answer there, when I just do, well, ask this question, that one, and I don't have to engineer all the prompts.
Yes.
Once you say, once it knows you, and this ChatGPT 4, oh, thank you, we love you. It knows your stuff and knows the context. It just gets it.
Mm.
Okay. See, isn't that fucking awesome? You see
Yes.
this?
Yes.
Feedback. Save from responses. Actually, it doesn't mean just that. It's other. I just say other nouns. And the volume refers to the strength and intensity of signal. I thought I did that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I don't have to do that. I think
I
that's
regarded that as mere affirmation of what you did, those two functions.
yeah, I think that's fine. God damn it. I gotta ask somebody how I get rid of that. Jesus, that's beautiful.
Very good.
So that's the Positiva model. All right.
Yeah.
Shit, we just did it, Brad. I'll be damned. Look at that. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, Boom. And boom. It's everywhere.
That's interesting. Oh,
Hit the N instead of the B. I'm not going to cut that out. I'm going to leave that in there.
I think you should put the link for the video on YouTube.
The
Like I say, I'm gonna listen to that at least once.
more cowbell thing.
Yes, absolutely. I love that little sketch, man.
It's too much. Okay, so like I couldn't watch what's the Archie Bunker show, All in the Family,
Yes,
and my autism would just freak.
really.
I can't watch people do that kind of thing, right? And it was really bad when I was young, and it took me into my 20s to get over it. So it's the same thing with that. And so when I watch it, my autism just goes, I mean, it's like I want to hang people right when I watch that stuff. It drives me nuts. And so it's like I'm glad I developed this. I mean, I understand really autistic people, right? I get them because you want to break things, right? I mean, that's your
It's like, is it so since we're going into the coffee shop model, is it means you just can't turn the volume down on silliness? Is that
you have no filter.
you
Things
can't
either
turn
make
it off?
sense. So that's why people can feel and autistics have to think, right? I mean, we don't have it. So when you look at something and it's wrong, it makes you angry the way another person would be offended or insulted or hurt. There's no you to be felt, to feel, if you can describe it that way. It's
Okay.
just wrong. So and when things are wrong, you want to break them. I mean,
Okay,
that's
I
the
get it.
impulse, right? That's the impulse. And so you learn very quickly that you can't do that, and your mom will chastise you, whatever. So you do it. But the impulse is there to not feel, but to think. What you have to train yourself with is to, okay, but how do I feel about it?
Oh,
And to recognize the feeling, not the dissonance. Right.
Hmm.
Right. And so you train yourself to feel. It's like how I train myself to engage in chit chat. Now I'm a fucking verbal nonsense machine, right? But that's the deliberate self modification to get there, right? And so you just have to overcome it and say, okay, this is what I need to do. Now you don't say it to yourself like that. It's like a feeling, like you're intuitive, you're looking at it differently. And so what I think of it as listening. I'm listening more carefully. And so it's like when I do logic, it's not like it's there loud. It's out here. And so you listen carefully, right, out to these edges.
So this is an analog to what I do with the patients when they're doing some silly thing and they're agitating me because it doesn't make any sense in this context, and I'm inhibiting the response, which is just to correct them for something that they can't know any better because they're ignorant. And it's like, now I don't have to correct them because they're going to go away in a minute, and they'll go away faster if I don't correct them.
But that is an autistic response, right? So the way you realize that you're having that problem is, for me as a kid, I felt I had to correct people all the time. And so you just work so hard to not do that, And then, so what happens is from you as the autistic person, when you're listening to other people say nonsense, it's actually agitating as fuck, right? It's sort of like you there, right? Except it's worse for me and it's way worse for proper full autistics, right? So you just learn. And so what I do is I just go to this happy place where I think I like being with people. I like being around people, right? I know I do like that. So I just
Right.
go there and you stop, you just basically filter it out. All I do is listen for something like, okay, how can I make you feel good? Right? Or how can I communicate? And then if somebody's really like they're going to hurt themselves, I'll say, I think that's not bad. Or my favorite example, which I do all the time, is if you want to know the answer, I'll tell you, but you may not like the answer. Right. So if you, and then they will ask you, you can't
That's right. Don't push it on them.
right. And so you just learn these techniques to escape it. Now I have extraordinary, what you call will, right? I mean, right. And so my self-auditing is very strong and my willpower is strong. So I can do that. But if you don't have those things, you're stuck.
Right.
You need cognitive behavioral therapy by somebody who can provide that for you. If you're not you. I just didn't like being not liked. I mean, it's just, I mean, or not people not wanting to talk to me. So that bothered me so much that I overcame it. I mean, I love people. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, I care about everybody. I feel responsible for everybody. But I mean, you've got to be able to communicate. When I was young, I just said very little. Because it's like whatever I'm a match and everything can be lit on fire, right?
Yes, I understand. And
You know what I mean?
I look at it as the way I learned to joking around
Mhm.
is like, yeah, I sucked at joking around. I tell these just bombs, man. It's like, okay, that sucked. That's not funny. It's all right. So
What
we're into
helped me
the
was
negativo.
what helped me was, believe it or not, was I grew up in, very conservative Mennonite farm town in Western New York, right? In little town, right? Whereas I went to high school in middle class and lower middle class Connecticut, mostly working class Connecticut. Fucking culture shock and a half for me, sorry.
Right.
But so the shit talking.
Yes.
And I remember where I learned it. I learned it at work. And once I got that down, it was like, okay, I get it now.
Right.
Basically have fun.
Yeah.
Instead of because I didn't think like that.
Instead of be truthful and right.
Be truthful and right and correct and so fucking weird. And and the thing it's like a lot of the things that I've learned from my disability, so to speak, right, is overcoming that taught me so much about the mind and brain. It's the same as the fact I have this vagus nerve problem when I get dehydrated and cough, right? I've fallen on my face and break my glasses and that shit like that, right? Because I just can pass out from coughing, right? And so, but when I come back, I have this incredibly clear experience of what it's like to gradually come back into consciousness. Not like you do when you're being drugged, but when oxygen is returning to your brain. And so I just have this incredibly clear view of it. So, I'm my own laboratory by not by intent, but by necessity.
God's will.
I love God. I don't want to say that too loud because people always want to bait me into some fundamentalism. If you would not, that's what I hate. Is like I love me how I feel about God, right? I mean, I love God. I talk to God all the time, right? But if you want to get into the fundamentalism thing, then that just drives me nuts. The problem is you can't talk about loving God or thankful God or working with God without people trying to drag you into fundamentalism. Drives me nuts. You don't do that.
I don't do that. But I like this. The flow here would be a negativa model and the social model. It goes very nicely.
Mhm.
Because what you were just discussing was the social model. We
Mhm.
hinted at it with the orchestral model
Mhm.
because the society is in the context of the audience.
Interesting. Would it be better to do this first to filter out?
Maybe
I think it
it
would.
doesn't matter. We just should write it. We can put it in order first if you like.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm thinking out loud. I think that might work because you're trying to identify a pattern. It's like-
Yes, that makes sense. We're seeking to identify coherent patterns within a competing set of coherent patterns, right?
It's a scale thing. So you're just seeing noise from signal. You're trying to organize. Try to cooperate. Yeah, it's just like, it's an escalating model. Okay, I like this. Okay, this is, okay. Okay. So in this sense, in a coffee shop, so in a coffee shop, I went a lot of places. Where do I listen? Where's there a lot of noisy chatter? And I went to all the sarcastic and ridiculous things, places where you can have ridiculous chatter. And I'm not going to go to one of the women's things because, of
I
course, if
understand.
you're listening to women, you have to filter out 99.9997% of it because it's not meaningful. But in the coffee shop, it might be. So there's a lot of noise. Is that the right one to talk about, though? I think of the student union, but that probably isn't.
Doesn't matter. So a coffee shop is a good model because there's multiple groups with multiple coherent signals coming from each group, competing for one's attention. Potentially competing for one's attention, okay? Yeah.
It's too. Thanks. I keep using the in the midst. Can I use a midst?
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not gonna lose anybody.
Intensity?
Amplitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is it? Excitement, stimulation patterns, excitement patterns. I'm trying to tie it to melody.
Yeah.
I think that might be right. What do I want to say? Patterns of what?
Signal.
There's excitement and what is the word there? Excitement and suppression. What a suppression. Excitatory, inhibitory. Is frequency in here somewhere because I can use frequency and amplitude, okay? And filtering out, suppressing those that aren't coherent, discordant with those voices, producing a stream, constellation, producing a coherent stream of meaning, just because of meaning together. And then this is holy shit, that's good, Brad. What do you think? I didn't hear your approval this time, so
This one, you took it a different direction than I would have taken it, I think.
all right, then let's look at
I
another.
would just explain what my impression is that I thought you were gonna do.
Okay,
So in a coffee shop with multiple groups of people with multiple conversations, each competing for one's attention, one may discriminate between various conversations occurring throughout the facility, right? Willfully, we can do that by that mechanism. And so that's how I thought you were going to take it, but it's like this is the more abstract version, I think, because it's like
so
I can see myself listen in a coffee shop, listening to a distant conversation and another one over there that's near and another one behind me that's loud and bass. You know what I mean? So where you say listening to a conversation, right? Which is any particular conversation occurring inside there. One may listen to any particular, right? Right? The rest of it I agree with. But that the only
yeah, I like your I want to get, you said attention in there, and I like that. Because attention is better than pattern.
right? Where you say listening, you may say one may attend to. Down one line.
No, I'm,
Okay.
so now, okay, now, I still haven't got, I still didn't, I lost your train of
Right.
thought.
So the next line, it says listening
Mm,
at the very first part of it. Yeah. So you may say, so one may attend to any of these conversations. Pay attention. Yep. Yes. I have to, I've been hesitating to say this, but I'm going to say it now. I'm paying attention to how you correct your typos. I hesitated to do so because I don't want to be self-conscious. But it's funny to me. I'm like, well, he's gonna backspace. That's interesting. I might use delete there. It's just funny shit.
We don't have it, on a Mac.
Oh, you don't do that.
All you've got is this key.
So you're handicapped.
Yeah, you,
That explains so much because now I know. And I just
you've been telling me I'm handicapped in 1,000 ways for 4 years now.
God loves you, Kurt. And so do I.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna try this one.
Yes.
Same here. How do I say it up here? How did I say this?
There you go.
What about this revision? Okay, so what about this revision? Jesus, I love you. I mean, I would kiss this thing on the cheek if
Yes.
it were real. What did somebody gave me shit about that the other day, yesterday.
Why?
Multiple groups of dendrites engage in multiple conversations, each competing with more volume numbers, and ask for the attention of their members. So one may focus attention on any of those conversations amidst the background noise. This requires identifying coherent conversation in one or more voices, excitation, filtering out, suppressing those coherent, discordant voice. This process produces a stream constellation of time and subsequently a coherent stream of meaning. Stream That's not a finished sentence. Produce a stream
Yep,
of stream of coherent.
coherent stream of a
Yeah.
signal. It's a signal.
Yes,
It's pretty good though.
yeah, I'm not really seeing what the difference was. It's usually tries.
Not very much. You cut one, just put a sentence in there, change the sentence pattern. Oh, it didn't, you had stream in there that was hanging function already. I would say this, this process produces a coherent stream of signal, right? Signals.
Which one am I editing?
What's that?
I'm editing two different,
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know which one's right yet, though. In a coffee shop with multiple groups that are playing instruments.
You're on a different pair. Oh, I see.
No, that's orchestral model. What the fuck am I-
Yes,
So this is multiple groups, each to compete with their volume or synapses, attention of members of their group. Okay, for the attention of their members, great. One may focus attention. One may focus attention on any of those conversations amidst the background noise, identifying patterns of excitement, and doing so requires. This requires identifying a coherent conversation. Identifying a coherent conversation. Frequency and amplitude of those patterns. In one or more voices. And in one or more voices, excitation pattern, filtering out, suppressing those that aren't coherent, discordant with those voices. This process produces a coherent stream of constant relay. It's just fixing my sentence structure. Whether the neuron access a stream of
signal stream or a stream of signal.
We want to get this across.
Yes,
Coherent stream.
signals. I like that.
Beautiful. Okay.
Is it overtime? You wrote constant relations in time and overtime or
and
overtime?
overtime. Yeah, it's and overtime.
Okay. I like it.
I guess we get rid of that problem now.
Yep.
We'll hit the power off button again.
Oh my.
Okay, given. Oh, watch
Okay.
this. I don't know. I'm gonna just throw this out there, see if it gives me any ideas.
Well, that's very interesting.
Given these two examples of the negativa coffee shop, the positiva orchestra. How you'll suck at this.
We'll see. The social model is quite interesting because it's competitive. You know what I mean?
Can't tell if it heard me or not. It did.
What's that?
Shit, not bad. I like trends and fashions. That's probably a really interesting one.
Yes.
I think it's making a broader point here. Yeah, repeat. Okay, okay. Now make the problem. If you can prompt it to talk to you sarcastically or humorously, or I did it yesterday, it's fucking hysterical. Oh, I can't. I better not do it. I better get a serious answer first. In the coffee shop or I used both the narrative and the property and the properties.
Parenthetical nervous function, right?
Yeah, and the
Neuronal analog. Parenthetically. Very interesting.
be damned surprised if it can do it, but you never know.
It's asking a lot.
Yeah, did it. I don't know, it's pretty good. What do you think?
Not bad.
I don't know if we want to use all of them though.
I understand. My theory, my instinct is to make it be of similar length as the
Yeah, I agree. Slim this down a little bit. How much more we have to go in here?
I don't think you need to dive too deep into the analog.
I'm just trying to cover the terms. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's too neural. I want this at the dendritic level. Can we try again emphasizing the dendritic and the soma level instead of the relationships. I wish it would just respond when you hit the click and not,
Think about it.
well, it doesn't acknowledge
Oh, that you clicked.
that you've clicked. This is better. Imagine a bustling market square where numerous vendors, dendrites, set up their stalls, dendritic branch, yes. Like this. No, that doesn't work. This is not, this is, that
But
doesn't,
they're in what's being omitted is inhibition as well as it's via positiva only in this.
Correct, correct. Okay, so we need to incorporate.
The inhibitory functions and feedbacks. Good thing is it's tireless.
Mhm.
It doesn't get bored.
Yeah, but it doesn't try to make me get coffee out my nose either. Prices. This is good. I don't know what this means. Integration. There's no fucking integration mechanism.
The soma is the integration mechanism.
Yeah. This is just. Yeah. I'll get enough to write this by myself.
That's good.
It won't, because I'm not going to be able to get it out of this.
That's okay.
This isn't bad. This is good.
Yes.
There's a note spoke here and try again. Now I've got that. Market Square. Oh, yeah, it's better. Yeah, that's okay. And customers. That's right. So we're getting there. Not correct. It's when. Mhm. How do you inhibit a market? By raising prices?
That's it. Which is your synapses are yeah, that's what it does. It increase it's the costs of doing business. Taxation.
Oh, that's even better.
some vendors, it means the government. Scum is pretty close.
Well,
Scum is pretty
yeah,
close.
unfortunately. We could get into what is it? The guys who protect your records.
Yes. We won't.
Um, this produces preventing market saturation.
Which is overstimulation, right? Yeah. It's inflation.
That's great.
That's just funny. Noise control is overstimulation. Understimulation is not what we're worried about in this case.
So when do we get to it at all? Yeah, I want just, I would do we need to cover it at all? No, you can have noise, right? You can have noise.
Is deflation is not noise. Understimulation is not noise.
Right, you can only, okay, you're right.
Not decreasing supply.
Yeah,
By-
we can do
By
that.
decreasing supply, right?
But these are synapses.
Okay, so you're okay, so okay. So increasing or decreasing supply, which is synapses. I thought we were talking about the signal, right?
Excess noise and disruption, excess noise. Signals, right? And disruption. This is bad information.
There's noise. Yeah. I think that excess noise and disruptions are the same thing. Okay, but you can leave that in there. It's
I
fine.
kind of like having it in there because it might, this just sounds like louder. This sounds like louder, right? And this sounds in conflict. I think I like to have them both in there.
Okay, that's fair.
It's belt and suspenders on that one.
That was a good analog.
You really only have it by. This is all synapses, right?
Yes. I would say that last sentence, that levy taxes on transactions by other vendors.
Say again?
The last sentence, they can levy taxes on transactions by other vendors.
I don't need these bullet. Do I need these?
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't like when I say so. And it's right, I shouldn't do that.
Right. There's not one at the first one, is there?
Okay,
Nope.
I don't know.
I like this because it goes to incentives.
Mhm. Sometimes vendors collectively negotiate with suppliers. Who is a supplier?
The
Oh,
suppliers to Soma.
or regulators. It's the SOMA. No, wait a minute. This is dendritic branches.
Okay,
Yes.
the
Supplier,
supplier is the Soma, right?
yeah. Is it? I'm not sure. Okay, I need help with this one. I need help with this one. I need help with this one.
For the analog. The suppliers. Right, synapses. Suppliers. Vendors are the input neurons.
That's what I think. Oh goodness, no, the vendors are the dendrites.
Okay,
Given vendors, dendrites, right? That's what we're using. The town, numerous vendors, dendrites, set up their stalls, dendritic branches. Each vendor is competing to attract customer synaptic inputs. Vendors use various strategies to stand out and how dendritic branches enhance.
Okay.
Okay. So, given vendors and
customers.
who are the suppliers and customers in this. What?
Wait, you didn't put it in.
There's something to
Wow.
do, there's something to do with money supply here. There's money supply. Wow,
We make
well,
full circle back to this book here.
yeah, exactly. Well, we talked about that beforehand. We didn't record that part of it.
And we were keeping it secret.
Note, the money supply. Problem in the neuron. We have to get it
Like neuronal limits, right?
right. We're still fighting over it. They can produce the money supply, but they have to do it by increasing the economy.
Hey, economy in quotes.
Well, I think she's. No, it's got it. So what's the suppliers?
Oh, that was at the bottom. Right there.
Feedback from satisfied customers.
Suppliers are the axon terminals of presynaptic neurons.
Oh, give me a second. Where do I put this feedback from, where's the feedback? I don't have it in here.
I would say positive feedback.
Mhm.
From the soma, right?
Yeah, well, you get it both outside and inside. Let's do this. Do that twice. Yeah, we've got, it's focusing. Each vendors can pay track customers to obtain profits. So, feedback, both.
The soma is the satisfied customer, yeah?
It's not just the soma. Input neurons. Synaptic inputs. Yeah, there were no synaptic inputs.
What are you referring to there? So what specific functionality are you referring to when you say from the synaptic inputs of other neurons?
Well, the feedback goes both directions, right? When it goes out to the dendrite, it goes into the synapse, it goes into the synaptic cleft, and so that is rewarded. Those are
The synaptic cleft is rewarded, right?
right, so it affects both sides. So you get so it's like, oh, you listen to me, right? You get back propagation. So you listen to me. So you get both from the soma and from the synaptic inputs, because it's it's setting out that there's both, it's intermediary position. You have customers up here and you have customers downstream, right?
Yes.
The dendrites, when we're focusing on dendrites, their customer is the soma. Now the soma is
Yes. Yes.
is the synapse, right? Their customer is, I satisfied your needs, right? The upstream needs, right? I satisfied your needs and I sent that message on downstream. So that's why an associative neurons do this problem of cooperation between upstream and downstream.
My understanding is that the axon sends a signal across the synapse to the synaptic cleft, okay, which then propagates a signal which is received positively reinforced by the soma, with increasing the power of the synapse or increasing the amount of synapses.
It goes both directions. It goes both out and back and up and in and out and back. So you get both directions. So
I'm reiterating my understanding, which is when the signal is sufficient to cause the excitation of the neuron, a signal goes up the dendrite, out the axon of the target neuron, and then reflects back to the synapse. I did not recognize a feedback to the axon.
yeah, let me just make sure I can see it in my head. I want to make sure I have this correct. So how is an upstream axon terminals made aware of a successful full dissipation of charge from the
Target neuron.
upstream from given an associative neuron.
Yeah.
How is an upstream axon? How are an upstream neurons axon terminals? Dissipation of charge from
I would say, okay. What positive feedback?
an associative neuron, how the upstream neurons axon terminals made aware of successful dissipation of charge. In other words, how far does back propagation function travel?
Okay.
Travel and how? Down the axon to the dendrites. After the axon is also propagated backward to the axon hillock and into the dendrites. This backward propagation is facilitated by both. Yes, I know that. How is the back propagation? Extent of it. Extent of which back propagation of the dendrite can be very neuron. Yeah, I know that. Generally, back can travel a significant distance into the dendrites, but usually attenuates as it moves for. Yes, of course. Voltage gated. Yes, I know that. Calcium signaling. I know that. Feedback to presynapse.
There we go.
The rise in intracellular calcium, that's what it is. Yeah, that's right. The pathway signal that enhance or diminish synaptic strength. Dendritic increase of retrograde signals, endocannabinoids. Boy, we can't put that in there because now
No.
everybody, the whole freaking,
Don't light those boys up.
we can't light those boys up. They'll get all that. We could just put in, we talk about cannabinoids in here and we'll get millions of guys.
Hits and hits.
So the dendritic retrograde signaling molecules can travel back across the synapse to the presynaptic neurons, modulate the release of neurotransmitters.
Okay, I'm sold.
All right. So I should have said, well, it's just calcium. No. See, I try not to, I don't want to know anything at that level.
It's a little bit deep, I gotta say.
It's just like,
It's
I don't
like
want
I have to check when I don't know, and I
Right.
have to check because I'm like, I don't want us to say something dumb.
well, nobody cares. I mean,
I know, no, there's gonna be some prick that cares.
there's going to be some asshole. I'm like, well, I want an operational, right? If we're down, we go down to charge, right? That's as far as we go. Below charge, we don't care. I mean, basically, right? So below charge, and I realize that those. I mean, if I look at it, I'll say, oh yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. But I don't want to. I don't even try to remember it.
Right. Okay, so.
I love this. Cannabinoids and nitrous oxide. Feel good shit. Yeah. I remember college, the nitrous oxide thing going around. And I'm like, you guys are nuts. I just don't get it. Beer is good. Scotch is better.
I will tell a story now, just as for levity.
Okay.
My uncle was in medical school at Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an operation where they had a guy in a scuba suit, and they filled the room with nitric oxide.
Wait a minute, say that again?
The guy regulating the nitrous was in scuba suit,
Okay,
and they were having nitrous oxide parties. And this caused him to be thrown out, and required his father, the also Harvard graduate, to pull lots of strings to prevent him from being chucked out on his ear.
I would count that as really exciting and interesting, and also
Yes.
profoundly fucking stupid.
Odd extremum behavior.
No, I mean, come on, you're gonna get attention, you're gonna make
Yes.
friends, it's gonna be fun, interesting and entertaining.
It's going to be too interesting.
That's just not good, I have really great fond memories of Thursday nights going to this guy. He had a single, and a bunch of us would go in the crowd into this guy's stuff and just pass this bong around, whatever. Right? Well, you can't when you're passing the bong around. I mean, it takes a while to do, and it was just great conversation, mostly about art and stuff like that, right? So I get that stuff. It's also relatively harmless, but you could get arrested back when I was,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right? So it was like you had to have, you had to have a thing with the RA, know where he was going to be, you can't just like, you couldn't make it so that he could get in trouble. So it was, you had to tape put wet towels under the door, and you had to have tape to put around the borders, right? And you had to turn the fan on, so it was not because we had those
It's like just
AC.
talking about the dinosaurs roaming the earth.
It was great. I have great memories of feeling very creative in those experiences. I also have great memories of coughing my lungs out. But back then it was like that was all you could. You could get that or acid or heroin. And there if you did heroin, there was something wrong with you, right? If you're up there. And we had a few of those guys over. There's always some group of guys, well, I just do, whatever. And then you had the people who did acid, and those people are like, well, you're from New York, of course, right? You're from Manhattan, of course you do, right? And then you had the average folks, and most of it was everybody drank something almost. Most people would smoke some pot. I've already told you about the guy I threatened to kill if he ever sold me pot with the angel dust in it again. That was fucking horrible. So, but and so and you can mushrooms and that kind of stuff. You do, but I just I'm like, okay, I've done that. That's done, right? It didn't. That's not part of me. This is keeping this together was part of me. But man, if you're gonna take, I mean, I can certainly see. Oh wow, I can take this can of this thing of nitrous and fill up this fucking room with it, and I can wear it, and man, I will get a rep for that, right? I can totally get it,
Right.
I just can't imagine that you would think you could get away with that, if it's got around. Oh fuck. Anyway,
Sorry for the diversion.
no, it's just funny, and I think it's really weird.
Kids.
I was the good kid.
There's a distribution. That's interesting. So what we've just discovered is the distribution of kids. And it's like this bell curve of crazy, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, most of them fit in this pretty normal distribution of crazy. And then there are these guys on the edges.
Yeah, I can't remember. I told you the story a couple of times, but that woman, this Jewish girl I was dating, right? And because we both had one of those, and she was like, "You're the straightest guy I've ever dated," and I'm like, "Well, I'm the straightest guy most girls have ever dated, right?" I mean, it's just, but yeah, it was very shocking to me that she would say that to me with this perplexed look on her. Anyway.
Where were we?
I'm just going through this vendors, vendors. Okay, negotiate with suppliers. So we got to get these names right.
There we go. Summary. Yeah. I think it's in the summary. Suppliers are the axon terminals of presynaptic neurons.
I don't want to do it too many times. Each vendor competes to attract customers to obtain profits. Yeah, we haven't mentioned it here. We're the regulators.
They're also presynaptic
Inhibitory,
neurons.
yes. Inhibitory. Suppliers.
So the suppliers would be, yeah, suppliers or regulators are axon terminals of presynaptic neurons.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to say suppliers. And inhibitor, I think, is there valuable? Yeah, there might be. There might be, that's value in separating those two.
Excitatory presynaptic neurons or inhibitory presynaptic neurons.
Yes. I'm lost. Where am I?
Down two, yep. Up 2 lines to the right, yep.
Okay,
Axon terminals of excitatory presynaptic neurons. Or regulators, which are axon terminals of post or inhibitory.
better terms. Cooperation with customers.
Cooperation, synaptic cooperation.
Yes, that's right. What is the word we use for that? It's a collection of them.
Dendrite or
It's synaptic collection or something.
clusters. Yeah,
What?
clusters or collections. I don't remember.
Clusters. So clusters.
How we've muddied it a bit here.
Yeah, yeah. How do I make these two paragraphs coherent?
I know what you're going to do.
Thank you. And I got sometimes vendors collectively negotiate with suppliers of regulars to achieve better terms, mirroring dendritic branches collaborate to enhance synaptic efficiency for more effective signal, reducing prices, increasing profits. Okay, some vendors focus on reducing excess noise, inhibitory signals, disruption, conflicting signals, preventing market saturation, overstimulation in the market by moderating supply, synaptic activity, okay, adjusting prices, or, oh, this is really good. Some collection levy taxes on transactions by other vendors. Wow, this is really good. It's like if it's like everything else. I think I'm getting this one idea across. It's you have to use. It can only go so far. So you've got to give it a step.
Right.
But it can do a step.
Just one step though, not two.
It can't do too many. So we've gone from the individual to the group to the marketplace.
Yes. That's very interesting. So it's a scale, the neuronal scales.
Mm-hmm.
Scales of neuronal cooperation and operation, right?
Yeah.
It's good. That's like a subtopic, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna ask you to have what? You I got the cowbell. You think I'm not taking it out of there.
No.
I'm leaving that in there till we got to leave some. This is editor entertainment.
Editor joy.
I'm gonna do that one still.
There you go.
So I think we're just going to add these spaces in here the easy way.
Yes.
I think we should reverse this.
Yeah. Would you say the individual neuron?
Well, I was talking about the person.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But the person is an individual, it's analog for an individual neuron.
Yes. Well, is it? Yes, individual. Yes.
No, that's why I would say neuron. Okay, that's fine.
Well, I was trying to make it as a analogy, is the individual person.
There you go.
So we're
I
going
would say scaling neuronal cooperation by analogy, right? Good Lord.
I totally think it's worth it, though.
But
I think it's worth it to have the longer run. Is it not?
no, it's good. I'm just looking at how much work we just did.
My head hurts. You want to be done? Because it's too.
No, I'm just
I was trying to figure out why I'm hungry. That's why. Market, please. Sometimes wonder, is this? See, I want something that's half that space. I can't get it.
it's a final editor's problem.
I don't think I like this. I don't think I like that one. This is good. You know, like that goes. Where do we put what? This is like the top level.
Yes.
Yeah, that worked out. This seems to be part of this.
Let's see.
It's the economy of it, right? Where do we handle that?
Neural economy.
Quite good. I sort of like, where do we say you need to get fed?
We talked about neurons that fire together, wire together.
Here it is. How neurons survive. There we go. Just in the wrong place.
You have to fix that nothing because it has only a T and no H.
I'm just trying to figure out how I could tease you with that, and I couldn't think of anything.
I'm impressed that you had time to do that.
No, I was only copy pasta.
No, to think about making fun of me and decide.
Well, I have a lot of neurons devoted to that.
it's dedicated.
Running
Running
worse than
the back of
nothing.
your-
Worse than nothing. Worse than nothing.
It was in the part you just pasted in. Right there, third line down, third word in. That wasn't right. To watch you very carefully because I can't tell if you're jacking with me or not. I'm like,
Victory. I win. No, that'll be easy for us to do. I'm going to categorize this. I don't know why I had to write that.
oh, what?
I don't know, I had to write some twice there. God knows what I was doing.
Wondering what you disappeared. Something went away, but I couldn't detect an error.
By summation of spatial and temporal summation of inputs, I mean, that was like summation twice. Where did you come from? I do that all the time though. To cause the cell body, the neuron to find the modify the dendritic strength, and that's beautiful. The dendrite through the computing, an infinite variety of precision by combining the timing and location.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I would say this, what, at the end of that paragraph, the first paragraph. Right, the neurons that wire together fire together parenthetically so that everybody remembers that. Yeah. Oh my,
No.
just it is, but.
Okay. Oops, that's
Put the parent, yeah.
I
There it
actually saw that one before you could say it that time. It doesn't
Doesn't it
happen.
go inside the parentheses or the?
Well, it's the whole thing's in parentheses.
Okay, no, I was in the quotation mark.
Now, when you're saying, when you're saying it, okay, let me ask this because I was taught the wrong way at first, and I later said that's not right. So let's go. So in this context, in this parenthetical, does the
Punctuation.
period
Okay,
belong after the parentheses?
no.
Hold on. Before the parentheses
Oh, okay.
or within the quotation marks?
Golly,
Because I believe there is a difference between narrative quoting
no, not yes or no. It's one of three choices. Shit.
I think I just did it again. I did.
How'd you turn it off?
I hit, it doesn't tell you when it doesn't tell you it's recognized your input. So if it doesn't, if I can't tell if I hit it sometimes, like, how do I know it accepted that click?
Whoa, that one had quite a delay.
Yes, I told you so.
Oh, wow, wow.
I only look crazy. I
So
only
that's
sound
correct.
crazy.
It's correct.
I only write like I'm crazy.
Oh, that's right. I
Not
will
crazy.
tip my hat because I'm like, that's a new one for me. Thank you. Kurt, you educator, you.
I can only just not typo so much. That I could get rid of the illusion that I'm fucking clueless. There we go. Okay, so I think that's the introduction, right? Now we have to talk about it's a function. This is what we're trying to get across.
Yes.
So we have two things to get across. I'm not going to be criticized. So is this correct? Because then let me ask it in two layers. Is
Okay. Boy, that delay is something else, man.
yes, that's better. So where does that
Analog outputs.
received by? I might like that better.
What's that?
That one's really good.
Yes. Which is interesting. They're digital, but they're from different sources at different frequencies.
It's good. I like this. It's better. Okay. Okay. What is the
Yes.
Then I gotta ask my second question. It's basically statistical.
Yes. You know what it really reminds me of? It reminds me of the quantum background bubbling.
It's fuck.
I
Mm.
had to say it because
Oh,
it's
fuck.
just waves. It's superposition of waves, right?
Oh, God.
I had to say it. I was compelled. I couldn't stop myself
True though.
because it's supply and
I was listening to a debate there, and of course Sabina Hassenfelder was in it.
yes,
I was listening, and she's basically saying, look, you haven't proved that the colliders are worth anything more investment. You haven't even got a theory of why it would be. All you're saying is maybe there's something there. Well, that's $50 billion for that purpose, right? Whereas you have all these other fields of research, and so far the standard model of all you particle folks, it's not working out. It's worked out as far as it is, but it's not able to unify. So there's something wrong in the standard model. There's something wrong in the quantum background, the standard model. Quantum background, quantum mechanics, the standard model, and the elements, right? The elder emergent. There's something wrong in that sequence, and we know that because at scale it doesn't work. And if you haven't got gravity, you don't understand what the fuck's going on, and you haven't got gravity, right? So Einstein's woo-woo of space-time, of course, can't be expressed as in quantum mechanics at all. It can't possibly get there. So she's like doing her thing, and I'm like, I can't. I'm sitting there, sitting in that group and saying, is there any evidence anywhere in any of the sciences that the world does not operate consistently at all levels? Which is what you
right.
just right. It does.
All right, it would just struck me because it's sort of ridiculous.
I'll tell you that means your particle model is wrong. It's not entirely wrong, right? But
Just mostly wrong.
it's just wrong enough that the information necessary to deduce the next layer of precision is not there.
Your extrapolations won't work. Your
Right.
math won't work.
So you go to, well, I mean, that's their thing, is their math does work at that for what they're using it, but it doesn't work at scales lower and higher. So the problem is, it's like Einstein's, I complain about Einstein all the time. I mean, I'm not like dismissing his contribution, but I mean, if you're going to make shit up like space-time, all right, okay, that solves a lot of problems for you in the math, but it doesn't solve the problem of deducing what the problem of further deduction.
Right.
And the problem of further deduction is that the quantum background is always pervasive and everywhere, and it's something. Then they say it's just fields. No, a field is a system of measurement of frequencies that are compatible or not, right? That's all it means. And so you're confusing a mathematical construct with a physical construct. And that's just like, you can't have that discussion. It's like it's like you can't even conceive of it. You can have it with philosophers, but then they go off sideways too. It's exasperating. So I like to listen to Sabina because she will go up to a point where won't tell them they're full of shit, but she will say it's a bad use of money or something. Whereas I don't understand. How can you not get that the universe is consistent at all levels? And so if the model you're using is not consistent with the other models at all scales, you have to look at your model and say, what's wrong? Well, the particle model we know isn't right. It's just a good way
of describing the effects that they
Yeah.
observe in their measurements. Right? That's what it is. But is thinking of the world, is the model correct? It's not. I mean, it's not for the purpose of further deduction, correct? Correct. And then, so when it's like Einstein, it's freaking space-time. Well, what you just did is you inhibited the discovery of what the quantum background consists of. It makes me nuts. So anyway, you just brought up the
So look, we got the axonal neurons are providing supply
Mhm.
to the target neuron through the dendrites. And when there's a surplus supply, which is ability to dissipate charge, is exceeded at the target neuron fires one downstream because it's like, I can't take it anymore. There's this oversupply generates me dissipating the charge by that mechanism downstream.
So it's a so here how does a downstream neuron tell a neuron that its firing is correct?
That's the
Because because they're okay, because we're talking about dendrites. Dendrites have inputs as customers, right? But somas
Yes.
have outputs as customers. I know this stuff. Let me ask it a different way. So it's you have. Can I make, there's an analogy to multi-level marketing here that
okay.
so you have, so there's no way to. I lost my train now. I've gone down too many rat holes.
Sorry.
It's all right. So this is good. Noise reduction. Noise reduction. Clarity. Adaptability. So this provides. Starting to get tired.
What's that?
Starting to get really tired.
Yeah. Don't like the start of that sentence. You mean transmission, not transition?
Thank you. I was thinking about trans, that's why.
Thank you.
I had there's some philosopher, there's a woman that was producing philosophy, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like a woman producing philosophy. Turns out the person's a trans, and I'm like, I can't watch you anymore. Every time I look at you, like I could identify that it's not, this doesn't sound like, I mean, I'm so good at identifying sex differences and expression now that I'm like, you're a woman? That logic doesn't make sense for a woman. And I go on, the guy who's trans. I'm like, okay, now I just confirm and I can't watch it because it creeps me out too much. The dissonance
It's a signal is dissonant.
just makes me insane.
Oh
I had to
my.
block a channel, so I don't even want to know.
It goes back to our conversation on autism.
Exactly.
Jesus, it makes me mad. Oh my.
Yeah, it's so, but autism it's such a gift, but it brings its challenges. But I was looking, my cousin,
Oh, that's nice.
that seems to have done it, right? God, I so want to finish this, but I'm tired. I don't know if I can do it. How are you gonna be okay for a few more minutes or no?
We can do a few more minutes.
I'd like to brute force this if we have to. Okay.
I understand. I know what you're gonna do.
Mhm.
Advantages.
I'm sure I shouldn't have.
This is a mighty hard section.
Why we left it. I was like, I'm not going into this. We kept going, I kept looking over it because uh, uh, in this text, given this text.
Okay,
And this question, answer this question.
okay. That's nice.
I need this part. Okay, I need this. Okay, great, that's a good summary.
What's that?
I was like, okay, the summary is great, but I need an equivalent of this. Okay, that summary is perfect. Great, but I need equivalent of this paragraph. You guys are getting fuzzy.
Did you make it mad?
Well, I couldn't tell if I hit it or not, so we're gonna do this again. We'll hover over it, and if it says it's sent message, then I know it took it. Yeah, good. I gotta clean that up a little bit, but
Hmm.
mm, I'm gonna get rid of that paragraph I don't like. How did we do it here?
think you make it, bold, the header.
Yeah, how do we, what heading?
That one.
That right, just firing?
Oh,
What function does it perform?
you bolded the entirety of it on the one below.
Oh, damn it.
Oh my.
Can't believe we're actually gonna get this freaking thing done. Section done, where is it?
Down. Oh, slow down. Keep going. Right there.
Yeah, my objection is this word firing. We're transforming it, right? What are we doing here? We're creating some sort of measurement, but I don't know how to describe it.
Thresholds.
Integration,
Threshold detection is the same as firing. That's the measurement, is the threshold.
detection, you're right. My poor brain, okay. Can almost do that now, I think. Yeah, we have to close it. Now we gotta do closing. I don't know if any of this stuff matters anymore.
That one doesn't matter.
Which one? Kind of like this.
You like it.
I like this one.
I like the last one myself.
You answered that, right?
Yes.
This is answered.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. That's already answered. We already, okay, what did we say that? Meaningful relations, back, yeah, okay. We did that already? Oh, that's interesting.
What's that?
Um. I don't think it's, I can't figure precise. So when I close a section in the slides, I list the dimensions.
Yes.
These two look like we need to answer those.
I like that as a freestanding sentence.
Mhm.
That's what I want to see.
They want a flow, a little flow here.
I would say it functions as a dynamic antenna that summarizes. Yeah. I would say it summarizes, not can summarize, it does summarize. Yes. But you're rejecting that thought.
I'm not rejecting it. I want to make that change. What?
The
What did you-
antenna, adapting antenna that summarizes.
Yes. I hit the sleep button.
I didn't fall asleep.
I just think this is a cute. How do I
What's that?
kind of like this quote? I don't know how to use how to.
What do you think?
Oh, I just like this cue. I think this is a nice cue. I don't know how to format it. Normally I would just indent it.
Capitalize it.
Yeah, let's just do it that way. Goodness. No,
I like it. Yes.
I think I'm fried, Brad.
I'm pushing it myself.
I'm fried. How about I just refresh this screen without saving?
Yes, update will be good.
Let me make sure I did that right. A, C, update.
How about that, Kurt?
This is what I was working on. I said, I don't want to waste our time on that. Geez, we did something hard today. I'm glad.
Yes,
I'm tired.
it's work. Pushing ions.
Wow. I'm gonna make sure I have a fresh copy. Okay. You get to do your
Well,
thing.
that
'Cause
hurt.
I have to I have to go, I have to go lie down.
Right?
Yes. I have some lunch and lie down.
Right.
Do your thing.
Oh, hey, this is another opportunity. Yes, another opportunity. Those of you who feel so inclined will hit subscribe and the like button and then the notification bell. And then comments will fall below. Isn't that nice, Kurt?
It's wonderful. Thank
We
you all
did
for watching. This has been a working session. It's June 9th, 2024. I wrote something that Brad was slave driving me yesterday, but so I can blame you for slave driving me again today, even though it was very clearly my fault today. It was very.
I don't know, but I think that's correct.
Thank you for today. That was another incredibly productive day. My brain is melting.
Yes, let's have a decompression chat in a moment.
Okay, stop recording, right? Bye-bye.